Hey reefers, welcome to my frag tank. So this is just going to be a short overview of what I have going on in here. First of all, we are in my basement and it is not the tidiest or best looking thing ever. So here it is. It's a, what is this, a 20 long? I have light. I have my old Reef Keeper light along with an SL2 and one PB4 since my other one is defective. I have two of those. I have a Tom's Aqualifter. I'm using a 5-gallon jug that I just filled up today with some kalkwasser and RODI water. This tank down here is nothing yet. That might be something here in the future, but not yet. Jabo, whatever you want to call it, the SOW8. This is my least favorite of the Jabo pumps. This connection right down here is kind of springy plastic. I'm not on, well, can't do it with one hand anyway. This piece under here is really soft, so when you try to make the connection, it's a lot more difficult than with the older Jabo pumps. Here it is though. It works fine. I do like that it has the sine wave technology, that when you put it into W1, which is the wave making mode, that it doesn't completely shut off. It kind of ramps up and down instead of just completely shutting off and then going at highest power. All right, so over here I have a marine land filter that I had I'd only ever use it for maybe 2 weeks at a time when I was using it. Now that I have a frag tank, I'm using it constantly. What I do I shove a sock down in there, and then once that, ooh, that side's wet too. Then once it gets like this, then I'll flip it over to the other side of the sock and use that up. This sock's been used on both sides. So, this looks awfully disgusting. So I'm just gonna let it dry out near my drain. And then once I have my other two 4-inch filter socks, awesome shot of the toilet. I have my other two socks hanging up here that I'm just gonna use these. Oh, it's a little fiddly trying to get them in there without making the wheel stop. And that's just growing bacteria. That's all good stuff for you. Over here, this morning I came down here to check on it and see how the tank was doing, and a snail. I only have 2 snails in here at the moment. There's one, and the other one's somewhere else. But he was riding on top of the float switch. So I just made a, can't get a great shot of it. I made a white acrylic shroud that goes all the way around it. There are 2 open spots on this side to let water through so it can accurately judge how much, you know, whether the tank's full or not, for topping off purposes. But now the snail would have to crawl completely out of the water up and down to get in there, which they won't do. So otherwise, I'll throw a little top on it. I just glued it up, and because I was worried about it this morning. All right, so we've got the marine land. What are these things called? Hang on back. I don't know. Power filter. We have the Digital Aquatics Reef Keeper light, keeping track of temperature, and the auto top off. We have the Jabo SOW8, which I keep in high mode, just on the 3rd bar. This is plenty powerful for this little tank. And then the Relazzi, I don't know how to say it, Amazon light. I was super surprised at how well this looked. I held it over my tank, my display tank. I mean, the colors and everything it gets is pretty incredible for a $100 Amazon light. I've had Mars Aqua before, hated them. The color spectrum on them just isn't good in my opinion. So let's shut off the water flow. And there are thousands of little LEDs, looks like. All right, so we just have some, this guy broke off. This is a Frag House coral. That one just broke off not too recently. Not too long ago, I mean. That's a Reef Pets, or no, that's Purple Poison. It's just starting to grow off onto the plugs. I'm going to order some square plugs for it. I just think that'd make growing in here easier. We have a couple red Monty caps there and there. One zoanthid. Spearmint bird's nest. This guy I brought down here originally, and then I remembered I forgot to put, I had run out of salt, and I forgot to get it up to 35 parts, so that one got really mad at me before I got it back up into the display tank. Yeah, he's pretty upset. Got the Christmas tree from Top Shelf Aquatics. I just moved it over here. I don't know if it was getting too much light or not enough. And then I have this green Slimer that he was in the display tank right up against the front edge of the glass. It was used to being in the middle, getting blasted by light. It is now, and flow. All right, well, all right, no good way to show it, but it even though it doesn't look great at this moment, it is coming back. Let's see. There you go, that's a little bit better. So it is coming back. I have noticed this greener section, I don't know how to talk. Greener section on this side is coloring up a little bit more. So yeah, seems to be going all right. So that is the Frag tank setup. I don't know how long I'm gonna keep this set up. I don't know if this is gonna turn into a bigger system tied into the overall system, or if I'm gonna completely keep it separated. I don't know if I'm going to use a return pump. A Jabo, I think that's a 8,000, is massive overkill for these two tanks. But we'll see. I have, you know, it's starting to go through an algae phase, and I have some media in here from, you can't see it, it's all the way down there, some Marine Pure down in there. That's been in my display for a couple years now in the sump area. So yeah, so that's the Frag tank. Come back for more display tank viewing, and hopefully get some of these growing out and turn this into something that's not a complete and total drain on the wallet. Have a good one, Reefers.